10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the podcast from Doug Ground Up Productions with hosts Lady Miz and Ray. This is a universal platform, and there is nothing off limits. We talk about it all, and we keep it real. This is a no judgment zone, so come as you are. If you are a professional, entertainer, author, comedian, entrepreneur, or just someone who wants to get something off their chest, well, let your voice be heard here on From the Ground Up Productions. Sponsorship and other opportunities are available from the Ground Up Productions. Turning nothing into something. There's only one way to go from here. And now, here are your hosts, Lady Miz and Ray.
Yeah, what's good, people? Happy Monday.
What's up, y'all? Happy Monday.
We in the building. Y'all already know what it is.
Hope y'all enjoyed your holiday.
Yes. From the Ground Up Productions, y'all already know what it is. So, listen, I'm your host, Lady Miz. This is my co-host.
Ray, y'all. Y'all already know.
This is From the Ground Up Productions, and there's only one way to go from here. For those who don't know, and this is your first time coming across our podcast, From the Ground Up Productions is the place where we interview entertainers, legends, entrepreneurs, business owners, etc. The purpose of this podcast is to pay homage to the legends in the industry and also help bring exposure to those independent artists out there grinding and doing their thing, and for entrepreneurs and people in the business field. It's also a place where we like to discuss relatable topics, things that can educate our viewers. We do this by speaking to different professionals about their experiences, their goals, and challenges. When doing that, you guys will learn valuable information that will help you evolve, okay? Which is so important. It will help you evolve, y'all. That's the most important thing. This is a no judgment zone, like y'all seen on the intro, and we always tell people to come as they are. Extremely important, okay? Today we are interviewing Speech and Configa from the group Investor Development, y'all. I am so excited about this. I cannot wait to bring them on. Super excited about this to bring them on. We are fans of their music and we grew up listening to them. So I can't wait to get this interview started. Before we bring them on real quick, we are just going to play a quick commercial. And this is for content creators out there who is entrepreneurs, entertainers, and the whole 9 yards. Listen up, because this is for you.
Are you a content creator? Do you make music videos, short films, documentaries, web series, kids shows, movies, stand-up comedy, visual podcast, educational shows, or sports? Are you a fitness instructor or gamer? Do you record church ceremonies or report news? If so, contact From the Ground Up Productions TV by email at fromthegroundupproductions@gmail.com. For more information on getting your content played on our network on Roku, where there are over 85 million viewers and growing. No more being limited or blocked on social media from the content you post and create. Get the freedom to be you without restrictions from controlled social media. And if you want to run your ads or sponsor our network, contact us now at fromthegroundupproductions@gmail.com to get started now.
You're now tuned in to From the Ground Up Productions, broadcasting around the world.
Yeah, let's get this party started. Y'all already know what it is, y'all. Super excited. Without further ado, let's bring on Speech and Configa from Arrested Development, y'all.
What's up? Salute.
Listen, we first want to welcome you to our podcast. We are super excited that you guys are here, okay? Listen, I've been getting the calls. Everybody's excited to have y'all on here. It's a blessing again. Like I said, we grew up on y'all music, and we're just happy to have you guys here. So first, I want to ask you, how are you doing today? Because that's the most important thing.
Yo, I'm doing great personally. I mean, y'all intro is like the best intro I've heard in a long time. Like
that was sick. It was
Thank
sick.
you.
Wow.
Sick. Yo, I loved it, man. I was like fired up. It felt like I was at the movie theater or something.
I thought it was on like TBS.
About to start. Yeah. That was fresh. That was real fresh.
I was like, speech roof, like, we're back in the mainstream, brother. Like
Listen, look, you know, we gotta invest in what we like and make it look good, especially when we got people like y'all coming on here. Okay,
it was so dope. It was slick. It was slick. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
thank
fresh.
you.
Y'all killed that. Y'all killed that. Props.
Yeah, man.
I'm doing great today. I'm doing really good.
That's
really
good. That's good.
I feel blessed as well. I'm blessed that we work with this brother right here. That's what I feel.
Well, same here, right over there.
Thank you, bro, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Configa, you're in the UK right now, right?
No doubt.
And Speech, where are you located?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. So in Atlanta still. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't know, you know, people move around different time zones and stuff like that. So yeah, just wanted to find out where you guys was at. So listen.
Transnational collaboration
right now.
2 albums now. And not even 2 albums, actually Speeches, parts of Speeches solo album and remixes and other things and various things.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. A lot of stuff.
I met Configa during the pandemic. So we started connecting. Yeah, we started connecting. He's a dope producer and I produce music too, but I know when a dope producer's dope. And I was like, yo, this dude here is top. And so I started connecting with him and we've been sending music and tracks and ideas and talks all over the internet during this pandemic for the last 2 years. Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing.
Ideas. Crazy ideas.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So just crazy exchange of ideas. Just unbelievable. I've learned so much from this guy. So much.
Yeah. Same here.
Oh,
and y'all are already making fire music in that short period of time and knowing each other, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at what COVID did. I guess we got some good stuff out of it.
You know, there's 2 sides to a coin, right?
Yeah, that's true.
This is for real, like from the ground up. That's what this is about, right?
No doubt.
All right, long as y'all know, okay. So listen, Arrested Development is an amazing group. Like you guys, we knowing the history, 2-time Grammy winner, multi-platinum, group, and you did that all while keeping your dignity and also elevating minds through your music. That right there.
Real talk.
Definitely got a hats off to y'all for that. I mean, y'all had the best rap album. Had the best rap album, best new artist. Y'all was named the Rolling Stone Band. I mean, man, y'all really put it down. But like I said, in music today, being able to do what you did in the way you did it is so important. And we're going to get into that. So your foundation is extremely strong. So since we're talking about foundations, I would like to start off with discussing the foundation of Arrested Development and how you guys got started. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So
yes. You want me to jump in? Just jump in?
Yeah, go ahead. So Speech, I know you're the leader of the group and you formed the group started in the 80s from the ATL, right?
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah. So basically, I'm in Milwaukee in 87. I graduated high school in 1987. I went straight to Atlanta. Milwaukee had gotten real violent. A lot of people was dying around me and things was getting pretty dire. So I left Milwaukee. I went to Atlanta. I wanted to be down south. And I liked the energy down south. Atlanta was like the Black Mecca. It was like a little Africa in America, you know what I mean? And it was really doing a lot of good vibes. And so I got to Atlanta, went to the Art Institute of Atlanta. I met my dude, headliner there. I was trying to get a DJ, and he was looking at a flyer I put up, and we started connecting. Then from that, we became best friends. We started vibing together, and we started doing shows. Now, our shows was sort of like a sound system, where it was me, headliner, and then we would invite people on stage. So then it would be like African dancers, drummers, MCs, poets, whatever. And then that became sort of what Arrested Development was. It was this like collective of creative spirits. And then all of a sudden that developed into a record deal. When we got on when we got a record deal, we had to slim that down. We had about 20 members, and we had to slim it down to 6. That became me, my headliner, Airly Tariq, Baba OJ, Moncho Ishii, and Razadon. And we put out that first record, and we had a guest artist named Dion Ferris, who was what we called our extended family member. She was singing on Tennessee, Fishing for Religion, Give a Man a Fish. And we had other guest singers that was on other songs. You know what I'm saying? A sister named Paulette, our mom was always on the stage, so on and so forth. So that's how we sort of got together, did our thing. Baba OJ was the elder in our group. Rest in peace. He was at the time 57 years old. And we was like, I was like 19 or so. Ishii was 16. Crazy. It's a very unique collective of people coming together to do some music, revolutionary music.
No one else has ever done that like that. No one else.
Yes, absolutely. So that's beautiful to see how y'all came together. Was it hard to have to narrow down from 20 to 6 people? How did that go?
Well, you know what it is like when we got signed to the label, it's all about money then, right? Because before the label deal, none of us had money, so it didn't matter. When we got the label deal, they had budgets all of a sudden. So now they're putting you on the road, and they're like, well, we can't take 20 of y'all on the road, so you got to decide who you want to. I just started picking people. Me and Headliner was picking people that we felt was the most important to what we was doing. And, we just had to break it down. So it was hard, but, everybody had good spirits because everybody wanted us to win. Everybody wanted us to make something happen. You got to understand, back in those days, it was the East Coast and the West Coast. There wasn't really a lot going on in the South. It was this is pre-Outkast, pre-Goody Mob, pre-LaFace, even down south version of LaFace, all of that. So it was tough. It was a tough thing, but you had to make the decisions, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, being from Atlanta, how did y'all come up with the song Tennessee?
Yeah, well, Tennessee was a story. Like, it is a deep story. Like, Tennessee came from, I would visit my grandmother every summer for the summer, and she was in Tennessee. And I got this call that she had passed away. My whole family, we all went to Tennessee to celebrate her life. And we felt this whole like refreshing vibe of where we was going as a family. And that same week, my only brother died as well. And he died of an asthma attack. So, of course, the last place I saw both my grandmother and my brother was in Tennessee. So that's why I wanted to do a track named Tennessee to honor them.
Nice.
And that was it. That's how that all came out. Yeah.
It's a blessing. Yeah. It's a blessing it took off the way it did.
Yes.
It is a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Honor of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it was our first single. It was in honor of my brother and my grandmother, our ancestors now. And also it was, the single that sort of like took us into the world. Like everybody knew about Arrested Development from that song pretty much. And that to me meant everything because, I feel like when people pass away, they give you a gift. And to me, that song was a gift from my brother and from my grandmother to me, and of course to the Arrested Development crew and to y'all, to the whole world. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel. Yeah.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Love it. Love the spirit. Oh my God. So I was gonna ask this, but you guys covered it already. As far as you said, y'all met during COVID. I'm not sure if you gave the details. Can you give me a little bit of detail of how y'all crossed paths?
Yes.
Yeah, no
doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to do it? You got it, Configa?
Yeah, sure, brother.
Go ahead, Configa. It's on you.
Yeah, it's on me. I was on Chuck D's record label from Public Enemy, obviously, and I released an album through them, and it was one track in particular that his touring partner, who's also part of another collective called Enemy Radio, that guy Jahi, So basically, he tours with Public Enemy, but he also has another offshoot group called Enemy Radio. So basically, he's basically like Flavor Flav without being Flavor Flav. He's like the hype man who helps Chuck. Anyway, whatever. So basically, he heard a track that I did with Rex on the album that I released through Chuck's record label, and he loved it. So he's like, "Yo, I want to try a few tracks. Let's do some tracks." And we built on an EP. The EP became an album, and we released it to the world, and it did really well. And of course, my man Speech there, he heard the album. He is super cool with Jahi, friends with Jahi. He heard it, he loved it, and Speech like hit me up like, "Yo, let's try something." And what you heard became "Don't Fight Your Demons" from last year, which is like literally featured in the top 10 of every rap website going, bro. Like, in fact, I discovered more yesterday. I googled it and I was like, whoa, these are things that I didn't even know published it the first time around. More than a new Speech. Like, I've discovered new ones. Like, crazy.
Let me say something right quick. My dude Configa, like when I heard his production with Jahi, I was like, this dude is crazy. He's got great soundscapes. The dude has great talent for hip hop. It's straight boom bap. And it reminded me of the hip hop I fell in love with. You know what I mean? So I told Jahi, I was like, Jahi, this is my favorite album of yours. And then I reached out to Configa like he told you. But also I'll say this, because of Configa and his production with Arrested Development, our new record, Vibe, featuring Big Daddy Kane, for the first time in the group's history, cracked our top 5 most listened to records on Spotify and on streaming services.
Unreal,
because before this collaboration with Configa, it was always our hits from the 90s. That was our top 5. With Configa, we were able to crack that top 5 for the first time. So I'm grateful to this brother.
I just kind of expand on that. Like,
that's beautiful.
Absolutely right. The track it replaced, it kind of like saddened me in a way because one of my favorite ever tracks, Africa's Inside Me. It replaced Africa's Inside Me as in the top 5. And I'm like, whoa, that's like one of my favorite ever tracks. My track replaced one of my favorite tracks.
It's good. It's good.
And another track that we did for Demons album, the Don't Fight Your Demons album, is now 7th. Becoming is now 7th, bro. Like crazy out of all these classic tracks.
And you produced almost all of that, right? Configa on that album.
I produced like I would say what 2/3 of
right.
Or maybe something like that. Speech.
Don't like on
this. But shout out Chris Costa, Speech himself, and Clint Taylor.
On the
album.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, I got a couple of things. One, it's funny because the UK, I always hear that the UK still really represents that boom bap sound. Like I hear a lot of people say that they still love the original hip hop and how it was, formed and stuff. So shout out to the UK for that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. A lot more so than the US.
I want to add to that because really, like the UK does that. But I tell you, a lot of Eastern Europe is on top of this. Italy is on top of it. Australia is on top of it. Japan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's like hip hop all around the world. And a lot of these people really want that original, that vibe. You know what I mean? So no pun intended. That's the new single Vibe. But
absolutely.
Did you know this? There's a UK MC out here called Funky DL. I don't know if you ever came across him. Funky DL outsold Jay-Z in Japan. Funky DL, who makes jazz boom bap, outsold Jay-Z for years.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That says it all.
Shout out to Japan. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to Europe. Shout out to the Eastern Europe, especially. Czech Republic. All of these places is beautiful places, beautiful people. Much love to all of you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we want the US to give AD some more shine, man.
US,
yes.
US. Let's go.
Absolutely. Before I get into my next question, I just want to shout a couple of people out because I know they've been so excited, and I'm sure they want me to shout them out. Big shout out to the Godson Pharaoh. Listen, he was so excited when he seen the rest of development. He was promoting it before I got a chance. Big shout out to him. He was on it.
Much love.
Yes.
He's a true hip hop lover, true consciousness man.
Yes, big shout out to Tyler Mix, our partner, Sunshine. Big shout out to Hardy Slice, DJ Cisco, Town Mama, Shaki, Grant Body. I can't see everybody unless.
Is that Grant Body P? Is that Grant Body P?
I think go ahead. Chucky Chuck. Chucky Chuck, Grant Body P.
Yeah, Grant Body P. Yeah, he's got a sick radio show as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Man. Yes. Sorry if I missed anybody, guys. Put a comment in there and I'll make sure I shout you out.
Sandra. Big shout out to Sandra.
Yes. So So we know, okay, so Configa, you was already working with Public Enemy and Speech. Wasn't that who influenced you?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, let me say this.
So it's funny how y'all just met though.
Exactly. See, this is like the synergies and all of this because like Public Enemy grew me up. Chuck D is like my hero in hip hop. So for me personally, my family was always conscious. But just like many children with their parents, I wasn't really trying to check for what my parents were saying at the time. But on the other hand, Chuck D, when he came out with Yo Bum Rush the Show album, and then after that, the Rebel Without a Pause record, I was like, whatever this is about, I want to learn about it. And it was really about Black history, which was crazy. I didn't know about it because they don't teach it in the school system. So long story short, I started learning about it. This was when I was 18 years old. And so for me, Public Enemy is one of my hugest influences, not the style of music that we do and they do. It's the purpose. It was the intention that got me with Public Enemy. And of course, Bomb Squad with their production was always inspiring and like, what I'm saying? Like it was like you could hear visuals almost. It was those like
samples, those soundscapes, bro. Jeez.
Soundscapes was crazy.
All those samples. Like
exactly.
It became coherent. Like,
exactly.
Wow, man.
They were ridiculous. So crazy. Public Enemy, the whole full circle with Configa, Jahi, Public Enemy.
It's crazy.
Chuck D shouted out the single too recently. Chuck D shouted out 5.
Oh, he did. That's what's up.
One crazy thing is that Big Daddy Kane referenced Chuck D in his verse.
Reference Chuck D in the verse on Vibe, which was
yes. And we got it. We got the video in the joint right here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow.
Let me shout out to King Charlie Prince on the check it. I don't know if y'all remember King Charlie Prince. He did the request line. The
Word
DJ, he's the original, and he did request line. And what was the other one? The Roof is on Fire. Yes, the Roof is on fire. Shout out to King Charlie Prince in the building.
Shout out.
Let
me tell you,
big ups.
I used to rock their music all the time, like as a DJ, because I started off as a DJ. I used to rock those songs consistently.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's going to be happy to hear that in the comments.
Crazy synergy, man.
Much love. Charlie. Yeah.
All right. So listen, so you already said that I was going to get into the fact that you was a DJ. Boom. Yeah. So listen. Yeah. So now that we know you MC, you did producing, and you also started off as a DJ, like your family roots is deep. Speech, you come from a conscious family of entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah. No doubt.
So which is a beautiful thing because, overall we should be conscious and we should be, trying to have our own businesses and stuff like that, which is important. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your parents' business and how that may have influenced you.
It influenced me a lot in both ways. So my mom started this thing called the Soul City Shopper because once the riots jumped off in Milwaukee because of the murder of the assassination of Dr. King, my mom and dad saw the city go on fire, just like it was throughout the nation. And so all of these Black businesses lost their businesses in one day because people was looting, firing, smashing, but stuff like that. So then the Black businesses got together and said, yo, we need to get these stores back open, but we need to let people know. And they didn't have money to do their own ads, so they pooled their money together and they did this ad. It was called the Soul City Shopper, which my mom started. That then turned into a newspaper. So my mom's newspaper still runs to this very day in Milwaukee. It's called the Milwaukee Community Journal. Now, my dad, on the other hand, was an entrepreneur. So he used to open up Black businesses in Milwaukee to hire Black people to get the economy rolling, right? So these were their conscious ideas that I grew up around. And that's why it inspired me, because my mom, being a newspaper woman, her whole thing was publishing the information. So as an MC, that's what I want to do. My dad's whole thing was providing opportunities. So that's what my music's about with Arrested Development. My lyrics, I should say, it's about trying to provide opportunities to speak about positive things that we can do as a community to lift each other up. So that's that whole way that my parents really moved me.
Dope.
You know what I mean?
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Were they excited about you actually taking up music and not either one of their businesses?
You know, yes
That's
and no. Like my mom was excited because I was horrible at school and I was flunking in all my classes. So for her to see me excel in something, just anything, she was excited about. But at the same time, my mother is a very like educated, really well-spoken woman. She does, and I was all dressed down. I used to wear I still do. I wear ripped jeans, and I'm the opposite of my mom as far as, so she was worried about me, but she was happy that I was like putting myself into music. You know what I mean? So I think it was a mixed bag as far as how they felt about it. Now, when Arrested Development took off, though, everything changed because now they knew their son was right. And, it was great energy. I mean, they really supported it fully at that point.
That's dope.
That's
dope.
beautiful, beautiful. And I'm sure that they are super excited, super proud of you from everything that you accomplished, you in the group, because y'all, that laid down some great things in this music industry. So we appreciate that so much for what you were able to give to us, the people, the listeners, and your fans, definitely. Since we're talking about
all the fans.
Yes. Since we're talking about the music industry, I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about the industry, the music industry now, and how it may portray Black people? Do you think that do you think it's good for the hip hop culture, or do you view it as a problem or not a problem?
Okay, so I go into this in deep detail. I did a documentary on YouTube called The Nigga Factor.
Oh, gotta watch that. Gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. It's on YouTube. I did it about 2 years ago, and that's my deepest thoughts about the music industry and how they portray us. I think it's the long story short is I think it is a purposeful attack on the image of Black people using hip hop, which is an incredible, amazing tool. And yet I think that they attack us through mainstream media portrayals of us. And it's not wide enough. So like back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a wide variety of images of us. So you had 2 Live Crew that was talking about the strip club, but at the same time you had Arrested Development or you had Public Enemy, and all of us coexisted on the mainstream charts, in the mainstream tours, all at the same time. MC Hammer, which was just fun.
Yeah, man.
So it was just a different energy. Whereas now, you really are relegating all the conscious artists pretty much to the underground
stuff, bro.
All of the mainstream stuff is really talking about 1 or 2 or 3 topics. You know what I mean? And we all know what the
boring.
So, yeah.
Configa, he ain't hoping nobody. He said boring.
It is. How much money you have, how many women you have, and how many guns you have. Yeah, boring.
Absolutely. Listen, we totally agree. That's why we're so excited that you guys dropped this album. You got the joint out. We are, listen, trust me, very much needed. Very, very much needed. You have no idea.
Needs to be, seriously, if this album is not album of the year, then I'm done with music, man. I'm just gonna say that.
This album to me is so much passion for the FKN Love is really what it sounds like.
Sweat, blood, tears into all of this. And literally, I think that people will love it, but I want it to be received in a certain way, and I want it to be respected by the powers that be, to give us some shine, because speech deserves this. Because next year thank you, brother. But next year's Speech is 30th year since he won a Grammy, and it's time that he at least gets nominated for another one.
Absolutely.
And shout out to the entire group. Shout out to all of the members, the first generation,
of course,
who I mentioned earlier.
Big up.
Shout out
JJ,
to the second
One
and
Love.
the third generation. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah,
much love. Of course. Yeah,
much love.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Lady Z in the building, and big shout out to Demo Wet in the building. Demo Wet, another dope producer. He did Hate Me Now. He worked with Alicia Keys and a long list of people.
Respect.
Yeah, so he's up in here also too. Wow. Big shout out to Lorraine. I see you, and Elvis. I see you. How did you guys? And what made you come up with the name of the album for the FKN Love? What made you come up with that name?
So honestly, like, on Don't Fight Your Demons, which came out in 2020, I think, right? Yeah. Don't Fight Your Demons was 2020, So that record got so much love for us. It got the most love Arrested Development ever gotten since the 90s, right? So that's a long time that we were looking for that kind of praise and that kind of respect for the new music that was putting out. And a lot of that was because of Configa. Shout out to the other producers, myself included, on there. But still, a lot of that was because of the vibe of Configa. And then,
thank you, bro.
When we finished getting that love from that album, we were really still sort of on an emotional high. It was like, okay, now it's time to just celebrate the art, celebrate the culture, celebrate the vibe. And that's when we started working on this project. And I think the first songs we did together on this project was a song called what was it? Doom 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 doom. Dang, I forget the name of it right now.
That be happening to all of us, don't worry.
I'm getting old.
I'm just trying to think. What was the first ones that we made, man?
I can't. Well, put it this way.
Never Had Your Back, bro, was one of the first songs you made.
Never Had Your Back.
Yeah,
Never Had Your Back. The first joint.
I think probably the first one.
And then trying to what's the joint where I say trying to measure my life? What's that song called? I Don't Care, right? Is that what it's called?
I don't care.
I don't care. Well, I don't care. And
Never Had Your Back.
Never Had Your Back. Those were the first two joints we did
on the album, man. First two tracks that we made on the album. But actually, me and Speech got bangers that didn't make the album. Bangers.
Wow.
No.
Really?
Wow.
So what are you gonna do with those extra songs?
We've talked about putting it out as an extra later on. Like
you know what? Like the stuff that hit the editing room floor, the editing room floor.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, that's what it probably be.
There's a few tracks in there, like, wow, Speeches, like, oh, man.
They're
wow,
crazy.
my God.
They're crazy.
Spitting.
Now, Configa.
Thank you.
We talked about how you, we talked about you with Public Enemy and all that, but how did you initially get started with being a producer? And what was your inspiration to keep up with the boom bap era of music?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly young. So I grew up, I got in hip hop around about 88. So that was the golden era, obviously still. So I was surrounded by golden era music. And I started making music in 96 and as an MC and then producing a few years later. And so basically it was still kind of the golden era. And I released my first album in 2000. So I released my first album 21 years ago. So my inspirations were what you would consider the typical boom bap inspirations, like, Primo, Pete Rock, Speech, because Speech does get the shine as a producer he should get.
Come on.
Low Finesse, Large Pro, all those kind of guys that influenced me hugely. And that kind of archetypal New York sound, Because there's a thing where in the UK we were more influenced by New York because it's closer, and also because I'm not from London, but you know, I spent time in London, and London is a lot more like New York than it is California. Like California, that laid back, laconic sound, whereas New York, that gritty, urban. That's like London, man. So yeah, we fed into London hip hop a lot more. Sorry, New York hip hop a lot more. And then obviously, if you remember the early London-based MCs, like for example, homegirl Moni Love, even though she lived in London, she rapped with an American accent. I used to. So I'm not. This is no judgment. I used to do that. Derek B. Do you remember Derek B?
I remember Derek B. Yeah,
Derek B.
British guy, Cookie Crew, man, Cookie Crew.
Yep. But he used to rap with a British accent. He had a British accent.
What I'm saying. They were influenced by New York. So it wasn't until London Posse came through with Rodney P that they almost took a more Caribbean slant and used words that people in London were genuinely using, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how it all came about for you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Well, I'm gonna give a big shout out to both of you guys, because in this era of music, you know, after 20, 30 years, they kind of try to push you out, like you don't belong here anymore. And you got to give a shout out to y'all for continuing to say, you know what, we are here. We're gonna still put out good music, and y'all gonna listen to it.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know what I found is that you know, they try to push you out even earlier than 20, 30 years, unfortunately. But what I found,
man.
What I found is that there is a void in the music industry with people that grew up in our age groups. Because I mean, we're probably different ages, but we might be somewhere similar. But the point is, there's people that grew up in age groups that knew about boom bap stuff from the 80s, 90s, you know, early 2000s, and they don't get nothing anymore. There's nothing that's catered towards them anymore. So there's this void where we're striving to fill that void. Like, here you go. Here's some music that y'all can get into that we all grew up on. It's still new. It's not. We're not trying to be stuck in the past, but there's things that we all appreciated about the past that we want to bring to our present, so we can keep loving hip hop. And that's it.
Facts.
Thank you.
Just one thing I want to say. About the video that we released, Vibe. The comments in the comment section have been crazy. So many people like, we've waited so long for this music. We love it. We're going to support it. Like, this is our music. And like, not enough people cater for the 35 plus demographic.
Exactly. Let me tell you, we're starving for it. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's up.
So and this is why we have to go back to appreciating the art and just not worried about people's personal business, and appreciate the art, because I think that we got away from that. Everything is about who's more popular, who's doing what. So you get crazy people on the internet doing stuff, and they forget about the art of the music and the talent. And you're right, absolutely right. Bringing that music back, it's like, if we don't have it, we left with nothing almost in a sense, because
you're right.
I don't even want to listen to the radio like that. Because I feel like
radio's
I'm missing
trash.
out.
Radio's trash.
Yes, absolutely. I want to go back. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to go back really quickly to speech. I was listening to you talk about your family structure before, because of course we're going to do more research, okay, and as far as what's going on with you. So you said that you would sit around a family table with your mom and your dad and stuff, and you guys would discuss. You would discuss the solutions, not just complaining about the problem, but you would discuss the solutions in the Black community. So what I want to ask you is, in this music industry now, with the way it is, what would you say, and you both can answer this, please, what would you say the solution would be as far as fixing the issue in hip-hop in the industry now?
That's a great question.
Well, you want to go first, Configa, or you want me to go?
Bro, you go first.
Okay, so for me personally, I think number one, we need to have a decentralized music industry again. So what I mean by that is the music industry became corporate run after a while. You know, back in 1996, 1996, there was a bill that was passed, and what it did is it allowed corporations to conglomerate and buy up all the music radio stations in every city. They were able to buy up the video stations in every city, and what that ended up doing was consolidating the music industry to 3 big powerhouses. So all of these small labels, all of these small movers and shakers, people that used to break records in every city, that became a disappearing dinosaur act, where ultimately even program directors at radio stations had no say anymore, because the playlists were being constructed by an office that was off-site, and this stuff was being sent to them digitally as to what they should play. So it got to be decentralized to where people that love music, like Configa, like myself and others that are watching this, they got to be able to have the power to break new music, which is what y'all are doing from the up. It's like break new music that's fresh and built on talent, and not just built on personal drama and sensationalism and all of that type of stuff. So that's what I think we need.
It's all
beautiful.
Absolutely. It's all become homogenized. It's like there's no identity anymore, because like you could tell back in the 90s that someone was from New York with their style. Someone was from California with their style. Someone was from down south with their style. Now you can't tell where anyone's from. The sort of regional identity's gone. Everyone sounds the same. Because back in the day, everybody sounded different.
Yes.
Everybody wanted to sound different. There was a thing called biting. Biting didn't exist anymore in hip hop.
It doesn't even exist anymore. That whole concept. Nowadays, if you bite, you're in the in crowd. Like that's what you should do.
You're part of the crew. Like what?
Exactly. And it's funny you say that because it's so crazy. And this is another reason why people stop listening to the radio. So I got a question for both of y'all. What would you say to somebody like me who, like, when that happens and I stop listening, I feel like I'm missing out, and then I just stop searching. But when I do that, then I miss out on when you're putting out new stuff. When you guys are producing and putting new music, I'm not even searching anymore. What would you say to people like us who stop even looking and searching? How do we reconnect and bridge that gap?
That's a great question, because what y'all are doing is
that's why we're here.
Exactly what y'all are doing is so important. Number one, you know, shout out to Rock the Bells, LL's Rock the Bells, and
absolutely, man.
You know, Chuck D's
hip hop,
exactly.
Hip hop vibes, radio station, absolutely, man.
There's very few outlets, but those outlets are important, and I think it's important for people that do find us. Like when you found that video on YouTube and it's like, yo, Arrested Development has a song called Vibe Out with Big Daddy Kane. Okay, share it, because you said, sis, there's a lot of people not even checking for it anymore. So they got to share it with their people. If we start doing that, then we can start changing the game a little bit, because we got to get the information out there. You know what I mean?
Take the play away from the majors, man.
Exactly right. Take it away from the majors, man, because they're messing it up. They're messing it up big time.
They're really dropping the ball on all of this, man.
They sure are. They're not even acknowledging people like Arrested Development. Unfortunately, we want them to, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, and guys, so that for those who are tuning in, make sure y'all go check. We have the video here. I want y'all to go check it out, though. Go there and watch it and stream it. Even if we play, we're only going to play a clip of it if we play it, because we want y'all to go over to the YouTube channel and watch it and comment, like, and share. That is so important. The sharing, like we said, that's how it reaches the next person and the next person. So important that you guys do that.
People just watch it and then they sort of chill. Share it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then that gets
10, share it.
20 more
share
people.
It.
That's right. Yo, and for those who tuning in, share this live too. Don't forget to tell them
That's right.
We just trying to tell them what they ain't hearing us.
That's
but
it's
all good. Yeah. We keep pushing because that's what it's about. Because listen, if we don't, the other side will. So
that's right. Exactly.
So we definitely gotta keep pushing. Let me ask
in the same way we're battling the major record labels, you're battling people like the Breakfast Club. Right? Same thing.
Exactly.
Very true.
Exactly.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. So Speech, Arrested Development wasn't your first group. You did create another group before Arrested Development, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it begin with A?
It begin with an A. Let's hear it.
Yep. My crew Attack. So I'm from Milwaukee, and I was one of the first crews in Milwaukee to release hip hop. So Milwaukee, I had a crew called Attack. One of those dudes was I also brought into Arrested Development later, but his name was Special K. He turned his name into Quasi because there was already a Special K. And so Special K, man, T.A. Wiz, rest in peace, and myself. So that was Attack, and we dropped music back in 83, I think it was, and it did well, man. It did well in Milwaukee and in Detroit, a little bit of Chicago, but of course it didn't blow up in a big way because there was no outlets. So, like there's a song on our new album for the FKN Love called Building from the Bottom, which reminds me of the name of y'all's radio show.
I'm not primarily MC. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And it talks about building things from the bottom because that's what we had to do. So Attack didn't make it, but Arrested Development, my next dream, made it. Thank God for the music. The music world of embracing us. And so Attack was the thing that we was doing. We released about 200 records back in those days.
I have to say, bro. Can I just say, Speech's levels are crazy because to the average person, so they would say they made it as Attack. Like they had, they got local love. They would get loved in a few states. But no, Speech was not happy with that. He wanted to go,
not at all.
Like way above that. But I know a lot of people who would have been happy with that about success. Trust me.
Man, we wanted to do so much more. Like the closest we got, there was a dude named Juan Atkins. I don't know if y'all remember the song called Clear. It was a almost like Planet Rock, but it was a song called Clear back in the day. And it came out from Detroit, dude named Juan Atkins. It was a song. And anyway, long story short, the closest we got to making it with Attack was hooking up with Juan Atkins. And he ended up taking us on tour. I have a funny story. He took us on tour to Detroit as well. We did some shows there. And it was us opening up for Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
I never knew that. Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Wow.
Back in those days, there was no album covers with pictures for a lot of these singles because they only had Girls in the World Ain't Nothing But Trouble back then.
That's
and so
right, man.
we was rocking with Fresh Prince, what we thought was Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Fresh Prince was about a 400-pound dude. And Jazzy Jeff was a total imposter group that we was opening for, but we didn't know it. And that was a big thing back then. Like back in the early days of hip hop, because there was no picture. There was a lot of Milli Vanilli going on. Yeah. So could you imagine my surprise that when I finally saw DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince in real life, I was like, yo, we wasn't even with those dudes. Like, this was a total
so, and you see this
that was just some of the stories, man.
The tall skinny dude. Who's that? Will Smith? That's Fresh
Prince? Will Smith, the dude that was acting like
that's not them.
400 pounds. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a funny story. That is a funny story.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Yeah.
Oh man. So listen. So explain to me and explain to the viewers, what does Arrested whoa, what's wrong with my tongue? Arrested Development mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Explain to us how y'all came up with the name and the meaning of it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my dude, I had a friend named Papa John. He had a punk rock group called Arrested Development. And I love the name because back in those days, I was really on. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Fishbone. Y'all ever heard of Fishbone?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Fishbone.
Okay, so Fishbone's a ska group. They're a ska group from Los Angeles. I believe Los Angeles. It might be from Oakland. Yeah. But Fishbone was a group that I loved. And then Public Enemy, of course, I loved. And all of these groups had these really interesting names, you know, like it was just different. And my dude had this rock group called Arrested Development, and then they broke up and he wasn't going to use the name. I was like, dude, can I grab that name for this hip hop thing I'm trying to do? He's like, dude, take it, whatever. And so I did. And that was how we came up with the name Arrested Development. I just wanted a different name. Like back then, like the whole thing with the music industry was trying to figure out a way to be different and a way to sort of make some noise where people would want to listen, like, because you had to get people's attention, you know what I mean? And so names like Arrested Development to me was just different. So that's why we came up with that name.
But the thing is, the name is so ironic to the group.
It's totally ironic.
It's like the polar opposite to everything that
what we're doing. Yeah, exactly.
They,
I like
us now.
I like that. I like that irony of it, you know?
Yeah, the irony is brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you guys, did you or do you remember facing any challenges in the industry with the group? And is there anything that you regret during any time in this industry?
That no doubt. I mean, first of all, we faced tons of challenges, like just a lot of rejection. Like I talk about that for the FKN Love album that's coming out December 3rd. A lot of rejection, a lot of people like doubting that Arrested Development do anything because first of all, we were from the South. And like I said, this is pre-Outkast, pre-Goody Mob, pre all of that. So, you know, nothing was really coming out from the South that had a mass appeal to it other than stuff from down in Florida, you know, with
Miami
and
Two Live Crew,
Miami.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. And then, and Ghetto Boys, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Because they had hits.
Ghetto Boys.
Yeah.
But you know, still the South wasn't recognized yet. So I guess the point was there's a lot of rejection. As far as things that I regret me personally, as a leader of the crew, there became this atmosphere in the group where I would do interviews with the group and everybody would only want to talk to me. Or I produced the music, I wrote the lyrics, so there was a lot of interest in just me, and I didn't know how to make sure I protected the group members and their self-esteem, their contribution. Like I wanted to make sure I did that, and I didn't do that. So like I didn't know how to do that.
But you were so young, bro. You were young, man.
20 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. That's a lot of pressure, bro.
It's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of just not knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, and not for nothing, because you got adults now that don't even know how to recognize people who helped them, who pulled them together, you know, or you know, so I wouldn't look at that as a regret because at 20 years old, I don't think anybody at that age will be thinking about everybody else, you know.
You have 30-year-olds who do that.
And I'm sure it was not done deliberately. You know, sometimes things happen. You might not know how to deal with a situation, and it just happens that way. It's hard, right?
And so that's one of the things. Like even to this day, I always make sure to shout people out because, like, to me, if you do something you feel like, oh, that was a mistake, then at least correct it. You know what I'm saying, and try to do it better next time. So that's the thing that I strive to do now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, you do, Speech. You do, man. You got your way to do it.
Yes. Well, listen. So Tennessee sold over 4 million copies. How did you feel about that? Like, how was that when
the whole album sold over 4 million joints, and that's just
right.
You know, it was just outstanding. It was outstanding. I mean, to be able to have your first album receive that kind of love, Grammys, awards, sales, it's a double-edged sword. part of it is exciting, right? And then the other part is scary as hell because you don't know how to follow that up. You don't know what happened because there's a music industry machinery that's helping make that happen, and you don't know how to duplicate that. So it was a tough thing, you know. And I shout out a lot of people that had the same kind of success. There's a lot of groups that were in the same boat as Arrested Development. They had hits, but they didn't know how to build that audience from an underground standpoint on their own. They had to use the label machinery to make it happen.
That's right.
And they didn't know how to duplicate it once they got off the label. They didn't know how to duplicate that. They didn't know how to reach their fans anymore. And that was where we were at for a while, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
But also people sleep on the second album, I've got to say. Zigalamaduni is a dope album. Some people even say it's as good as the first. So people sleep on that. That was nominated for Grammys as well.
It was. And I'll be honest, I think like for that second album, Configa, like I felt like that record was dope as ever, but I feel like the music industry went a different direction and we were going this direction. Everything just sort of, it just didn't, the planets didn't align, I guess, at that point. You know what I mean?
For real. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I had joints though. I had joints.
Thank you.
Definitely. All day. You guys, Arrested Development did break up at some point, and then you guys got back together. So what was the decision to get back together, and what made you guys say, hey, we're gonna do this again?
So it's funny, sis, because we didn't actually officially break up, but what we did do is stop recording and we stopped touring. So you could say it was a breakup, but what it really was at the time was some young cats who came together with organic purpose and with conscious purpose, and we lost that purpose. Like after a minute of fame, money, conflict within the group because of fame and money and all of that, we lost the purpose of what we were striving to do. And so we just didn't want to do more of that. We wanted to get our heads straight. So we took 5 years off. But 2000, Ishi from the group, Moncho Ishi, she calls herself Ishi Smiles now. She was the one that came to me and said, you got this successful solo career now in Japan. Why don't we come together and do an album as again? And I said, sure, let's do it. And we did. We got back together in 2000, and we've been releasing joints ever since. And like I said earlier, we've had a lot of success with those joints, but I'll be honest, hooking up with my man Configa, it took us into a whole nother stratosphere with this new music that we're doing. And the last album, Demons, and this album has gotten more love than anything we've done since the 90s. So it's
crazy, brother. That's a blessing.
Beautiful.
That's a blessing for me to hear.
Salute, Configa.
Yes, salute the Configa. Let me.
Thank you.
Oh my God, yes, that's a blessing. Thank you. When we talk about in the industry now, as far as streaming and things like that, would you say that is the best way to support artists, or is the direct sell? What would you tell the people if they want to support you and your music and what you got? What is the better way to go about supporting you?
Yeah, Bandcamp
all day, every day. Because
and I'll tell you why,
from Bandcamp is worth like 4,000 streams or whatever it is. It's crazy.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, it's probably worth more than that.
Sale.
Yeah.
You know what? Who told me that? Daddy-O. I think when I was talking to Daddy-O from
Big up Daddy-O.
Sonics, and I was wondering, I said, why is he using Big? Yes. I use CD Baby, right? So I was saying,
Speech is done. Is in a group with Daddy-O and Chuck D?
Really?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So just a shout out. Daddy-O with his mastermind. Yep. Daddy-O with his mastermind. He said, he's always been a huge, fan of Arrested Development, and I've been a huge fan of Stet and Daddy-O, just as a producer, as a writer, and as part of Stet. So Daddy-O put together Chuck D. I got a text from Chuck D, Daddy-O, and why don't we start a group together? So we're working on music together as well. So it's crazy.
I just
Oh
want to do the beats.
man,
I
I'm excited. I can't wait. Yes, wow.
Just let me
What
do
a
the beats for that, man.
You gotta do beats for that, Configa. You gotta do beats.
You, bro.
All right.
It's too
Configa,
legendary.
get on deck.
If it's up to me, it's done.
Well, we definitely gonna be looking out for that too. Absolutely, absolutely. So you guys are on, you're on tour now? Because I did go through your website. You got some tour dates coming up. Can you tell the people about that?
Yeah. So we got a show coming up for New Year's in Asheville, North Carolina. So we're gonna take it to New Year there, and then in I think January, February, we got a show in Atlanta. Arizona? That's gonna be benefiting Alzheimer's disease. So that's fresh. And then we do a whole tour throughout Europe in April, May, June. So I'm going to finally get to meet my man Configa in real life.
That's right.
Because we've been vibing, but we haven't met in person yet. So
a long time.
What? Are you serious? Wow. You can't tell.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. I literally could, the US was shut to the UK until literally mid-November. It's never been opened. It's only been open for a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
US people could fly to the UK. We couldn't fly out there.
Get out of here. Oh, I didn't know they had that lockdown. I thought it was open back
up. Still, a lot of countries still locked down.
Oh, yeah. And this this new variant. I don't know if you guys have heard.
New variant.
Please don't even talk about. Look, that's a whole nother topic. Every time they're gonna block my stuff and take my content down.
Yeah,
y'all know what it is.
Please, just give us a break, man. Let's have some shows. Let's have some fun with people. Let's just politic with people and chill and just have some fun, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
Come on.
Well, we would love to know when y'all doing some stuff in our area so we can come to your show.
Absolutely.
Where y'all at? Where y'all based out of?
We're in New York.
We might have to come to you because they got too many restrictions up here.
Oh, yeah. Don't.
New York, the Mecca, man.
You tell us where we see you in North Carolina. Oh man! So listen, you guys have other heavy hitters on there that y'all did songs with: Sugar Hill Gang, Master Ace, Moni Love, Fat Man Scoop. I mean, y'all got a
big
whole
New York connection.
Yes. Big time. Big time.
Del P in Philly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Man. I mean, I looked through. I said, "Wow, they got everybody on here, which is so dope." But I want to go to Vibe. Excuse me. Oh, and talk about that really quickly. Big Daddy Kane. What made y'all choose Big Daddy? I'm a Big Daddy Kane fan to the end. Oh my God, I love me some Kane. He's always smooth with it. What made y'all pick Big Daddy Kane?
Word up. You want to hit this Configa? You want me
to? The thing is that we made the track and there was a verse 3 and me and Speech knocked heads together about who would fit this track. We had a few names together, but actually Speech said to me, just hold fire with that. I've got an idea about someone who I think would really fit this track, but I don't want to speak on it because if it doesn't work, then I don't want you to get not upset, but get disappointed.
Right.
And so we didn't talk about it anymore. I was like, I wonder who this mysterious guy, person could be on this track. And then all of a sudden he goes, the news is in. He's in. Who's that? You won't believe this. Big Daddy Kane. I'm like, whoa. My jaw hit the floor. Literally.
Yeah.
Speech literally made that happen.
Perfect.
Yeah, well it's funny because me and Kane, we've known each other for many, many years, and we actually used to tour together. Me, KRS-One, and Big Daddy Kane used to do shows together. And we was on the stage at the same time together, not even just like me opening or whatever. It was like we was doing shows together. So I knew him from back in those days. And it's hard to get Kane because he's a very busy dude. He's obviously a legend. And he was at the time that I was striving to get him on this record, he was also doing interviews with Jay-Z. He was doing interviews with Eminem. I mean, he was literally
podcast. Yeah.
He was at the top of the food chain as far as hip hop. and everybody was just totally on him. And so it was one of those things where I didn't want to jinx it by telling Configa, yo, I think I could get Kane. I wanted to wait. Man. The man came through. Kane, respect to you, my brother. I love you so much. So grateful.
Yes.
Oh man, you smashed it.
Amazing.
You smashed it, man.
Amazing. I'm telling you.
Kane smashed it. Like a speech said something in the previous interview that we've done, and it was like basically in that verse, it's everything that you expect from Big Daddy Kane. It's like
yes.
In a nutshell.
Absolutely.
It really
Absolutely. And the video is so dope. Oh my God. I'm telling you, breathtaking.
It's the classic.
Big up Tony Reams, man. Big up Tony.
Big up Tony Reams.
So excited. Because I'm like, wow, because again, like I said, you turn on the video, even if it's a different artist, you can't tell that it's a different artist. Everybody sounds the same. And it's like, I'm telling you, a breath of, I can exhale now. I can exhale.
Yeah.
Big shout out to my cousin Don Easley from Philly on the check-in. I see you. What advice? We're about to close out. Got 2 more questions here. What advice would you guys give to independent artists and conscious artists that's coming in the same lane as you guys, that's trying to pursue their career? What would you say to them?
You want to start? Dude?
Speech, you go for it, man.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. Be you. We want to hear you. We want to hear what you got to say about your story, your truth. Bring it to us. We can't wait. Don't be like somebody else. Be you, so that we can enjoy it and celebrate it. That's what I would say to these artists, man. Do you,
absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's right. That's right.
You. Yeah.
That's it. No more to be said.
No more. He said, okay. He said, that's it. He dropped the mic. Okay.
Be you. Actually,
yes, I love it.
Well, this is a B and a U, and then Speech can wax lyrical about that.
Yes.
You need to make it crack up.
Be you. I love it. I love it. And I hope y'all listening out there, because it is so important. Don't get lost, because when you be somebody else, you're not being yourself. That's how you lose yourself.
Don't get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the sauce. That's right.
I love it. I love it. Is there anything that we did not ask that you want people to know?
Well, I mean, it's 2 things. The record comes out December 3rd on Bandcamp. It comes out December 10th on all the other streaming services.
That's right.
Go get this album, share it, spread the love, let people know.
Yeah. Spread the FKN love, guys.
Yes, that's right. Spread the FKN love. Yeah. And it's not everybody on here.
Somebody said it wasn't. Somebody said it wasn't befitting of an Arrested Development title. Some reviewer guy, and I was like, hell, what? Yeah. Could Arrested Development not just let it all hang out for hip hop? Come on, man. They're not boxed in. Come on, man.
Listen, and you can't be boxed in. Absolutely not. So, guys, make sure you guys, December 3rd, it will be out on Bandcamp. Bandcamp. That's where you guys need to go to get this album.
That's where the love comes from. That's where the real FKN love comes from. Bandcamp, man.
That's right. So make sure
big up everybody's pre-ordered. Big up all the people I pre-ordered, man. Much love.
Oh, pre-ordering. Okay. All right. So they can pre-order it on Bandcamp.
Oh, yeah. Right now, guys. Yeah. Literally. A Speech, can you remember off the top of your head what the short link was?
Yeah, it's bit.ly and then a / FKN Love. So bit.ly and then one of those little slant slashes. I don't know what FKN Love.
Yeah. That's it, man.
Bit.ly /.
Yeah.
FKN
/FKN Love.
Yep. All right, guys. That's how y'all could go check that out. Make sure y'all please go over there and support. We need this music. This is not a want. This is a need, okay? This is a need. Stop playing. Listen, I am so excited that y'all came on, and thank y'all for coming on our platform and taking the time to talk with us. Thank you for what you have gave us in the hip-hop industry from the both of y'all. We really, really appreciate
Thank you so much.
Everything. Listen. Blessing, guys, it's on the bottom of the screen.
It's also in the comments.
I just want to say this. That was perfect what y'all put down there. It's the right spelling and everything. I want to say that y'all we want to thank y'all because y'all got a great show.
Absolutely.
Y'all got the right vibe, and y'all are professional, and it's
Awesome.
just it's top notch. It's number 10.
I was just about to say that, Speech.
I just
I was
it's top.
about to say, because me and Brother Speech have done a lot of interviews together over the course of last year, this year, promoting albums. But this is slick, and we love it.
Oh, thank you.
So much love, guys.
I appreciate it.
You've gone the right way. In
You
fact,
have
you're
no
all the
listen.
right way.
That means a lot to us, especially coming from y'all. You have no idea.
Yes.
Okay. Look,
It's
I'm
slick.
excited. I'm gonna be bragging. Y'all know me. Did
No,
y'all
but I'm
hear us?
saying-
Did y'all hear what they said?
Some of these things can be a little bit chaotic. Like this is almost like being on like TV.
Listen, we are on TV. We actually have our own network on Roku, so we did start that.
There you go then. There you go then.
Yes, from the Ground Up Productions TV. We're live on here. We stream live there.
On
and we
it.
also
Speak
have
on
shows
it.
in rotation. Yes, absolutely.
Dope.
So again, thank you guys so much. We're gonna play a clip of the video, but we want you guys to go over to YouTube and make sure that y'all check it out. Vibe.
Thank you.
Such a dope video, guys. Okay, Arrested Development featuring Big Daddy Kane. Look, it's going down. Make sure y'all go and purchase this. Purchase it and get
Absolutely,
it early.
man.
We appreciate y'all so much, and we thank you. We're gonna keep up. I'm so glad now. I'm happy.
I'm glad you are. Me too, man.
Yes. So we want to thank y'all so much for coming on the show. And we definitely will be continuing to look out for whatever you got coming next.
Thank you.
Salute, y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna play a clip, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna play a clip of the video. We're not playing the whole thing because, like I said, I want y'all to go over to YouTube and watch it and share it and like it and comment. Make sure you share, most importantly, so it can reach more people. We love y'all, and we out. Let's get into that video.
Configure. Yeah. All right.
Yo, trying not to let the pressure press me into deep regression. Trying not to see a trial that's truly a blessing. Trying not to speak in negatives. Trying to see beyond what's in my islands. Trying to take a deep dive in. Try to know that my blackness by nature comes with taxes. Pathologies come with being tilted off your axis. You wanna know how far off? Just look at what rap is. And down south there's even double meanings to what the trap is. All my years, all my tears, all my fears have been recognized. At least so far, so it's hard for them to be weaponized. So many of us paralyzed to what the light might do to our disguise. So I just wanna keep it live, let the music ride, get the people high. For the Arrested Development one more time. About to let out screams like the unborn kind. It's about to be shown to the world for the first time.
When you know you got fame in the game, in a catalog of flames, no shame, it's a vibe, ain't it? You roll with the glow that they're trying to overthrow. It's a no, yeah, it's hard to describe it. We know it's alright, we've been thieves in the night, rocking everyone inside while the suckers taking pride. And we always keep it live, everybody stands high, keep it in the light, it's a vibe, ain't it?
We out of here.
Wait. Yeah.
Oh, we out of here, guys. We want to thank y'all so much.
And Billy Black.
Oh, yes, we definitely. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Before we get out of here, we definitely want to shout out an artist. You got his joints, his social medias there. Billy Black, independent artist, doing his thing, grinding from the ground up. Make sure you guys go over and check this brother out. He's a new independent artist on the scene. First time that he did a joint, and he is really serious about his craft, very, very professional, investing in himself, and we want to support that brother. So if you come across, you're coming across it now, actually, make sure y'all go check him out. Again, thank y'all so much. We thank y'all. Make sure you share this, and don't forget, if you have Roku, to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like, and if you have Roku, make sure you guys add us to your TV list, and that's from the Ground Up Productions TV. We'll see you
next time.
Tomorrow, actually, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all know I got Talk Therapy Tuesdays. It's going down. Love y'all. We see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you next week.
We hope you enjoyed your time with From the Ground Up Productions. We'll see you next time. Be sure to add our channel to your Roku list and listen to us on all streaming platforms.
From the ground up. From the ground up. There's only one way to go from here.